Dr. A.K. Chanda, the chairman, Calcutta Port Trust, Dr. Mr. Professor Andre Patel, Chancellor of Northeast University and Chairman of Indian Council of Social Sciences Research, Mr. Rajiv Dubey, the Deputy Chairman of Port Trust, looking after Haldia region, and Mr. A. Majumdar, Deputy Chairman, Port Trust, looking after the Calcutta region, and distinguished members of the audience, ladies and gentlemen. Let me, first of all, give my felicitations to the chairman and his colleagues for the 137th anniversary of the port and for the remarkably doing well in the sphere of all activities connected with the management of port. It is rated as one of the best ports in the country, not from today, but for the last maybe 50 or 100 years. Now, about 3 weeks ago, I got a telephone call at my residence from the chairman, Dr. A.K. Chanda, asking me to deliver the keynote address today. And at that very moment, I was busy going through very carefully the report of a committee constituted by Government of India on climate change. So he said, what would you like to speak on? So at that time, in my mind, there was nothing but climate change. So I said, I would like to speak on climate change. So it was a very, very good topic. But what would be the exact title of your address? I said, corporate response to climate change. So this is why I'm speaking on. But as you know, it has become very important since last Friday, when the Nobel Prize was given to Al Gore, the former Vice President of the United States, shared by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, headed by Dr. R.K. Pachauri, an Indian. So this is very important now, and I think climate change it must be on every person's radar. I'm trying to explain what really climate change is, and then go on to give you an idea of what the world thinks about it. That's why it's a corporate response to climate change. You know, man's activity of different types gives rise to two types of pollution. Pollution, you can call it. One is the visible pollution, which you see, contamination of the air, water, or rivers, sea, industrial, and so on. That is a visible type of pollution. And there has been a lot of improvement in our country as a result of the campaign which the activists and government organizations have had in the past, during the last 50 years or so. Now, there is another type of pollution which is invisible, and this is because of the greenhouse gases that are emitted by man's activity of burning fossil fuel, coal and petroleum products, gas and so on. I'll come into later more detail, in more detail. Now this gives rise to various types of gases. The major is carbon dioxide, then methane, nitrous oxide, chlorofluorocarbon, and several other major sources. Carbon dioxide. Now, these are called greenhouse gases. You have got an idea of a greenhouse. Greenhouses are built in gardens, particularly in colder region, to keep plants in the greenhouse which require higher temperature. And I remember visiting a friend's house in London who had mango tree, small one, about 5 feet tall, growing in a greenhouse. From India, he had taken a mango plant and it was growing. So that is being called warmer temperature. Warm because the ceiling of the greenhouse is either made of glass or plastic, transparent. So sun rays come in, warm it, but the heat cannot escape. So the warmth continues to remain inside the greenhouse, and that's why they grow warmer, more heat-loving plants. Now the same thing is happening to the earth. All these gases, the greenhouse gases, they go up and the atmosphere around the earth, but they cannot get dispersed because they get trapped. That region outside the earth gets hotter and hotter every year. So this is what change global warming or climate change. Now, when I have, I'm sure you are familiar with the various types of symptoms that, and now everyone is convinced that there is a climate change going on. And I think probably will become more, even the United States President, George Bush, who was very anti-climate change, and now probably, I'll talk about it a bit later when I give an account of the two Nobel Prizes announced last Friday. Now, you must have seen drought and wildfires suddenly going on in the floods and crop failure, particularly in the Maharashtra region of Vidarbha, and farmers are committing suicide, and it's really very shameful for us. Then the destruction of climate sensitive species, those which don't require warmer temperature, they are but all our rabi crops which require low temperature, I think will be affected, including wheat. I'll talk about. Now, images of drowning of polar, there are some reports that Arctic. Polar bears are found in the Arctic region, and penguins and seals are found in the Antarctic region. You have the famous hurricane of Katrina, which destroyed the New Orleans city. I think such hurricanes, and heat is continuing to rise. The year 2006 was the hottest on record in the United States. And these are the symptoms you sure must have read. In Delhi, the 2020 will be. Now, if this continues, this is not my prediction. This is prediction based on various opinions. Then there will be no winter in 2050 or so. Now, from January, the temperature will soar to 35 degrees and so on. Several food crops have failed and farmers are. Then human activities have played a havoc on overloading the atmosphere with carbon dioxide, as I said earlier. Now this, you see, the picture of the earth. Now the sun is there. Now sunlight goes and it hits the earth, but then you can see the sunlight cannot go out. So it remains there, and then the carbon dioxide is increasing. Very good diagram. And here you see the temperature rising from 1,800 to 2,000. So in the year 2100, the temperature will be about 19 degrees Celsius. Now you see here, when the ice melts of the Antarctic and Arctic, so you see the global average rise in sea level in meters. Usually by the year 2100, the average rise of sea will be about 1 meter. Now if 1 meter rise, sea level rises, most of the low-lying areas of countries, Bangladesh particularly, is very vulnerable, and Maldives and other island countries will be submerged, they're likely to be submerged. So this is one thing which is likely to happen. Next one. Now you see the carbon dioxide, it gives you the top curve, which is brown, gives from 1,850 to 2,000. You see here how the total, and you can see the yellow one from burning liquid fuel, from burning solid fuels, and from burning gaseous fuel. The three lower curves, and the total is there. So you can see the how the carbon dioxide emissions is going on. Next one, now 2020, the kind of water will be reduced if global warming continues. Then, the climate change, the 30% water supply you will only have because of dryness. Next one, number 2035, the Himalayan glacier may totally disappear, and there will be floods and rivers, and then they will get dried up. Next one, 379 parts per million in 2000 was the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. This is the highest in 6,50,000 years. Pre-industrial value was 2008. These are actual figures which have been reported. By the end of century, 5 from today, temperature by December 2100, there will be a rise of 5 degrees. This is a lot. By 2030, 25% of the existing fauna and flora would become extinct, will disappear. Next one, greatest crisis will be for the marine fauna, because warmer ocean will lead to bleaching of coral reefs and this shell dissolution of shell marine animals like bivalves, gastropods, and which have a shell dissolution. Food 70% will fall in wheat. Now you can imagine 17% will the fall of wheat production in India, even if the temperature rises how many degrees centigrade. So this is exactly what will happen. Now, change in lifestyle. Now, supposing you want to fight climate change, what people have suggested, you have to change the lifestyle. The first thing is use the solar devices to heat water, as you will see. Then fluorescent lamp, you should change your bulbs to fluorescent types of particular bulb, ordinary bulb, which you use at home, gives only 5% energy into light. The rest is all heat. That's why, the bulbs become very hot to take out. So I think, and the fluorescent lamps remain cool. So I think this is very, and all this you can read out. The new green buildings which are being conceived of in the United States have no air conditioning or heating, only air circulation business. So, next one. All electrical gadgets should be turned off when not in use, and use of short. Supposing you're sitting at home, you want to buy something next from the market. I think it's better not to use a car, or walk, or take a cycle, bicycle. I think this is all very, and this is being done in Denmark and Sweden. In fact, in Singapore, people don't travel by their car, they use public transport. And I think we'll have to do the same here. I think this one. Between 19 and 2004, the energy consumption rose 37% in India and 53% in China. America's per capita emission of carbon dioxide is 21.7 thousand tons. In China it is 4, and in India it is 1.1. India is still very low, but it's rising because of economic progress. I think that's what the developed countries argue about, India and China. And I think these are public transport should be made use, as I spoke about, power generation plant based on fossil fuels. I think they are changing very fast. Next one. Now this is a very important slide. I wish I could point out the world in trouble. Now the first curve you see is representing United States, and if you see the circles, I think it's something 19.7 per capita emission from United States. Then you can hear the next one is Central and South America, how low it is. Then you have Africa, and you have then Europe, very high. So I think real culprits of climate change are the United States, as you can see from this curve, and Europe, the EU countries, and then the Middle East, Eurasia has, Russia and neighboring countries in Europe. Then here, last one you see, China, India, Japan, India, and the others. So you see the circles, and this is exactly what the IPCC, Dr. Pachauri's panel is giving advice. They say that the sufferers of climate change will be the developing countries, poor countries of the world, whose contribution is insignificant, and then much of the culprits are escaping away. And this is what the recommendation are. As you say, this is a concept of a green building being conceived in the United States, Bank of America. It doesn't have any air conditioning or heating, only the orientation of the windows or such, and then the flow of air which warms or cools. I think this is very important. Similar things we have to think about. Next one. Now, a friend of mine, Dr. Madhu Mehra, who comes here very often, he lives in London, World Council for Corporate Governance in UK, has indicated that just as the climate has changed due to human activity, humans have the power and technology to reverse the change. I think this is a very important point. You must remember that climate change can be reversed if you are careful. In 10 or 20 or 50 years, by the end of this century, it can be brought back to what is desirable. Next one. Now, India's initiative, I have added this very quickly. Now, this is total installed power capacity in India is that much, 132,000. 100% renewable power is 7.75. Renewable energy. Renewable means solar and wind. And then you have the percent renewable energy to the total power is 7.75%. Installed wind power capacity is quite rapid. India is growing rapidly. 73,000, 73.904 megawatts. India is fourth after Germany, Spain, and USA. Now, these are renewable biogas, solar, photovoltaic, street lamps. How many in India I'm talking about? Home lighting system by renewable energy in India, 3 lakhs, and lanterns and power plant. Then you can see solar water, how many power, wind power, small hydros, see that. But now bagasse is the leftover of sugar cane which is extracted after that is bagasse, and that produces some energy. And from waste matter, garbage and so on. This is one a wind power plant from the earlier one, from Karnataka, 8.5 megawatt wind farm. The turbine is either below base or in the when the fan is hot. This is in Tamil Nadu. Wind farm in Rajasthan. Wind farm in Satara, Maharashtra. Next one. Sogi in Karnataka. Now here you see there is one of the Lakshadweep islands, Kiltan. Now that the entire energy of the only very small island of Lakshadweep, 100 kilowatt, and you can see a series of along the outer line, the solar panels, and they give the entire energy requirement of that island, day and night. Now the solar panel building, they are all have come out State Bank of Patiala and Simla, and you can see like in Gurgaon. Next one. Solar water hits all along them. You can see in Pune, and this is the 5,000 liter per day solar water heating system installed in Chelsea, there in Gurgaon, near Delhi. All the requirements are met by solar power. Next one. Now you know the first meeting on climate change was held in Kyoto, Japan, in 1997, and then an agreement was signed, which is known as Kyoto Protocol. In this, it was agreed that the nations would cut down their emission containing carbon dioxide that is warming the atmosphere, and so on, by 5% related to 1990, starting from 1998 through to 2012. So this US did not sign the protocol. The countries included were G8, as you can see, and 5 developing countries, namely India, China, South Africa, Brazil, and Mexico, also participated there. Another meeting was held in Germany in June, but US withdrew and didn't attend. Now, formal talk on post-2000 agreement will be held of this same meeting on climate change due to begin in Bali in December 2000. So there has been far too much money involved to have the changeover from one type of technology to the other. I think many countries are going slow on it, but I think now, next one. No, that's a carry on. You've got the long one. Beyond that. Ah, yes. You see this, this is, let me make it up. I'll go there. We are facing planetary emergency. Now he has been the great crusader on climate change, very critical about the activities of developed countries. And he made a film, documentary film, the title, made a film, and that won the Oscar this year, 2000. The title of the film was An Inconvenient Truth. And the first recognition he got was on his film at Cannes. And then the next one was last Friday. And you can see what he says, it's written there. Next one. You have made lot of waves by sounding an alarm on global warming. He was doing interview, and then he said the following, which you can read quickly. Next one. No, I'm not taking hard on, still within my time limit. These are all actually what Al Gore has mentioned. And you see, then you can see the US is not a signatory to the Kyoto Protocol. What can the world do about it? There is a technical and so on distinction there. The US did not sign the protocol and pursued the president. Actually, he was, as you would remember, he was the vice president of the United States during Bill Clinton's presidency. And then he contested George Bush the election and lost narrowly. And he has not agreed to contest now. But now I don't know, after Nobel Prize, he might change his mind. Next one. Now, what advice you would give to India on global warming, especially as it embarks on this? So actually, you see, India faces an exciting new set of opportunities in the 21st century, but it's crucial that India make an accurate accounting of the cost, energy source, environmental policy. I think this is very important. Next one. Now, there's a global for climate change led by India's Achori. He is the chairman. No, actually this panel, I must tell you the background, panel was constituted, world panel, there's a 3,000, in our own way we have oceanographers and many, they contributed bit by bit. Now, now this is an interview of his by one of the dailies of New Delhi. But then in 2002, Pachauri was elected, not with the support of India. India didn't play a major role in his election. United States was very keen on Dr. Pachauri. Actually, he had the backing of George Bush, and in fact, that's what that Al Gore used to very widely criticize, and he defended it. He said on many occasions that he is not very clearly spelling out the responsibilities of U.S. because he is under the influence of George Bush. And he made a statement of this, saying that it is a derogatory remark about the title. And next one. Now you see, this is all this climate change business, and you can read out quickly. Regarding the honor Pachauri told Times of India, it's a positive development, and you see now climate change will be, after this prize, the Nobel Prize sharing, the IPPC. I brought the last report I've taken out from internet. I got it in my room. I shall be very happy to pass it on if anybody wants to read it. The recent report, fourth of the IPPC. I phoned Pachauri on Friday, and he said, yours is the third call I have received today. The first call I received was from Al Gore. And second, somebody is in my office. And the next one, this is the last one. So this is the story of the climate change and global warming, greenhouse gases, and so on. What I thought about. Now you have a fair idea of what will happen. And the remedial measure which, after the Nobel Prize being awarded to Al Gore and IPCC, I think there's going to be a lot of changes. And in fact, our report which I have submitted, when what I was going through when Dr. Chanda's book kept now without that we have to read through the whole thing. Well, thank you very much for being such a wonderful audience.